It's Coffee Vlog. It's been a while. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about fictional creatures. Creatures like Werewolf, aka Dogman, right? So I don't know if you guys have realized, but lately YouTube has been sending me and recommending me these con artists, YouTubers. And again, I am not judging people who are hustling and trying to make money on YouTube. These are very difficult times. The inflation is high. So hey, you hustling, you trying to make money, you doing what you can, and you using your skills of bullshit to make your money. And YouTube happened to be that platform. I get it. I understand it. Fine. I'll let that go. But what really troubles me, what really it's scary out there, is the fact how many people out there actually believe this kind of crap. That they believe that there's such creatures like werewolves, aka dogmen, skinwalkers. I mean, you name it. Every single fictional creature from the horror movies and sci-fi movies and fantasy movies and fairy tale stories, they all believe in it. Um, and what bothers me is that none of these individuals, and we're talking hundreds and thousands of individuals out there, none of them seem to use logic. Now, before I step into this territory, I want everybody to understand nobody wants to believe that these creatures exist more than me. No one would love to believe it more than me. Okay? I would love to believe that there are such creatures like werewolves, vampires, Bigfoots, etc., right? The witches and all that crap. I would love to believe that. But the problem is the evidence, and the evidence so far has been lacking. Like, the evidence has been not solid at all. The evidence has been pretty much something that you would see, not even, I swear to God, not even not even my nephews and nieces would bring such evidence to make you believe it. And that's what troubles me, is that these are grown-ass people, I assume. These are grown-ass people who actually believe these ridiculous stories. And you really got to be out of beef jerky or something, man. Or you got to be on some kind of drugs, some kind of mushrooms or something that I would like to... dude, let me have some of that stuff, honestly. Whatever you smoking, whatever you taking, I would like to have some of that crap. Let me just try it once. You know what I mean? And there's YouTubers out there who actually are taking advantage of this. And they're really good con artists. They have this smooth talk. They're like, hi guys, my name is this, blah, blah, blah. Today I'm bringing you some very exciting stories. Today's story, it's about a dogman encounter in a New Hampshire. And then we have another dogman encounter in a Yellowstone. And then we got a very surprising, twisted story, bizarre story that cannot be explained in Queens, New York. So stay tuned. I would appreciate if you would guys hit the like and share the video and be a good supporter. There's bullshit artists out there, con artists, who are actually taking advantage of this because there's this thing called the internet, social media, and it's a good way to manipulate and brainwash people. Put some scary images out there with some scary sound, and then people watch that shit in the middle of the fucking night, and they start believing it. You know, they start imagining in their heads that, ooh, this shit really must exist. Oh, hoo-ah. Yet there aren't any substantial, hardcore, solid evidence. And again, people who are watching this, I'm open-minded. I'm not closed-minded. But man, you gotta be more convincing. You gotta bring me solid, like super solid evidence. Like I said, I would love to believe. No one wants to believe this more than me. That there's Sasquatches out there, that there's werewolves out there, that there's different types of vampires out there, that there's these lizard creatures living underground, you know, these skinwalkers living underground, and they come out and they feed on humans. I would love to believe all that shit. I would love to. But so far, the evidence has been a joke. Honestly, the evidence has been a damn joke. The evidence is basically hearsay, and here's a blurry image, right? Here's a blurry, it's a 2022. We got 4 more months, it's almost 2023, right? Almost 2023. And people are still using, I don't know, 1980s camcorders. I've seen camcorders from 1980s look freaking better than what these people are taking photos with. And people buy these super expensive phones, like $1,800. So what's the point of having that expensive phone? What's the point of having that expensive iPhone with all these super lens cameras if you always take a shitty photo, or you take a shitty video? It's a blurry, shitty video. Listen, look, guys. I just, it's difficult for me to believe that there's so many people out there with all these high-end cameras, all of this high-end, expensive iPhones and whatnot, with all these expensive cameras built inside of them, and every single photo, it's a blurry, shitty image. You see, that's the red flag. I always ask myself, well, why is it that every single source that puts this information out there, it's always the same story? I was in the Yellowstone. We were walking and walking through this trail, and then all of a sudden, there's this creature that appears to look like a wolf, stand on 2 legs. This creature looked at us with his big red eyes, or whatever, yellow eyes, red eyes, and has a black fur, pointing ears, red eyes, big, fangs, and looked at us, and it ran away. So are you trying to tell me that a big-ass werewolf who's hungry, I assume he's hungry, middle of nowhere in the forest, and there you are, and he sees you, he can see you from 10 feet away, and he's looking at you, and you're looking at him, and this apex, let's call it an apex predator, right? This apex predator looks at you, shows you his fangs, and then he runs away. He runs away. He's not going to attack you. He's not going to feed on you. He's going to let you tell the story. Every single freaking story, it's about, ooh, I encountered a dog man, and this dog man, I saw him, and he ran away. Why? Why the fuck would he run away? You're in his territory, middle of nowhere. He'll take advantage of you. He's going to eat you. He's going to feed on you. You're like a free food on the menu. See, right there, I have a big problem. Right there, that's where the fucking problem, I'm sorry for the language, but some of these stories are pissing me off. Right there, it's where I have a big freaking problem. Right there, this is where your story just sucks. It just makes no sense. And every story is the same way. Every story, it's always the same way. Hi, I'm a park ranger, da 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 da. I was going down this trail, and while I was walking down this trail, I noticed a smell, a terrible smell. First, I thought maybe it's my camera is moving. Maybe it's a ghost. Oh my God! Look, the camera doesn't want to. There we go. You know, like, it's always the same story. I'm a park ranger. I've been patrolling the Yellowstone for over about 10 years. I'm very familiar with this trail in the forest, and I usually can spot different types of animals, and I'm good with that. But one night, middle of the night, by myself, middle of nowhere on this trail, I noticed something in a 10 feet or 10 yards away from me. I've noticed a smell, a terrible smell that I never noticed before. And I looked around and I see this big wolf-like creature stand on his two legs and his big red eyes. And it just looked at me. I shined a flashlight on it. It had just looked at me and it ran away. Okay, here we go again. So, this apex predator, you're in the middle of fucking forest. I'm sorry for the language, guys. I really am. But stuff like this pisses me off. You're in the middle of the forest. You're the park ranger, and you shine the flashlight on this thing. And this thing looks at you, stands on his two freaking legs, and then he runs away. Well, what kind of a shitty-ass apex predator is this? The whole idea of a predator is for you not to notice them. You are the prey. They are the predator. You are in their territory, right? That's the nature, the way the nature selected it. You are in their territory, middle of the night, middle of nowhere out there in Yellowstone, all right? You can scream all you want. No one's going to hear you. You're in the middle of the freaking nowhere, and then you shine the light on this creature, and this creature just stands there and shows you itself. And then this creature runs away like a little bitch. And you live to tell the tale. Every single one of you live to tell a tale. What kind of half-assed werewolf, pussy-ass werewolves are these? I'm sorry. That I'm not afraid of these werewolves. They're pussy-ass werewolves. What kind of a pussy-ass werewolves are these? They're all running away. They're all running away. Every single one of them. Come on, guys. You know, and again, I am open-minded. Guys, I am very open-minded. Nobody wants to believe that these creatures exist more than me. Believe me, I want to believe it more than anyone. But I have a big problem. Big problem with these half-assed bullshit stories. Big problem. And the problem is logic. Logic. Where's the logic in these stories? Common sense. And again, I don't blame the con artist. The con artist on YouTube, it's taking the advantage of stupid people. The con artist on YouTube, it's making money off of stupid people. I get it. I understand it. But what I don't understand, I can't believe that there's this many stupid people out there. Dumb, stupid people. And some of them are probably doctors, lawyers, that believe this crap. That's the scary part. That there's actually people out there who are highly respected in their fields, and they believe this kind of crap. That's what scares me. That we got hundreds and thousands of people out there believing this kind of crap. Believing this kind of hocus pocus. Then you might as well believe in Godzilla and King Kong. You might as well believe it with all those creatures from Godzilla universe. You might as well believe in that as well. That's it. It's it's just mind-boggling that people actually believe this kind of crap. And again, I am very open-minded. I would love to believe that these creatures exist. And if they do exist, if there's so many werewolves out there running around, why is it that we haven't caught one? Why is it that somebody hasn't shot one with a high-powered rifle? And we got some badass freaking rifles right now that the hunters can buy. Why is it that none of these hunters out there, none of these rangers, park rangers, which I'm pretty sure they have a rifle as well, protection. They're not going to go out there without protection, all right? Why is it that no one has caught one of these things? No one has shot one of these things. Shown us the body. Here's the body. We caught it. We got it. Why is it that nobody found the bones? A burial or something. A bones. A DNA. A hair sample. Something. Right? You would think with all the fur that they have, there'd be plenty of hair, DNA. What happens to their bodies when they die? Where's the bones? We can find the bones of gorillas, chimpanzees. We can find the fossils of the dinosaurs, right? From a million years ago, we can find the dinosaurs fossils and bones and all that shit. But we can't find these werewolves. Nowhere to be found. And there's so many of them, apparently. Apparently, there are so many of these werewolves and creatures out there. There's so many of them. Yet, not one shred of evidence of DNA, hair sample, bones, nothing. And I know what people are going to say. Oh, but the government, it's covering it up. Dude, do you really think that the government is that sophisticated to cover this shit up? You guys have seen way too many X-Files movies. I'm serious, man. Do you guys really think that our government is so sophisticated that they're able to cover this shit up? That no one's going to leak something? That there won't be any whistleblowers? That no one's going to leak anything? Come on, guys. Again, here we go. Logic, common sense. And again, I want to end this video by saying this. Nobody wants to believe that these creatures exist. More than me. More than me. I'm telling you right now. More than me. I would love to believe that they exist. But so far, I have seen no solid evidence. No solid evidence. The only evidence I have seen is a bunch of blurry pictures with some zombie, mindless, scary music in the background and some guy with a very annoying voice. Hi guys, my name is blah blah blah. Today I'm going to share some very scary encounters, and these scary encounters consist of possibly a werewolf or a dog man. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you also buy my merchandise. So let's get with the intro. Yeah, you're going to watch that fucking guy, sorry for the language, a con artist. And again, I don't blame the con artist. He's making money. What I don't understand is the people that are watching that shit, subscribing to that shit, buying the merchandise from these con artists, and then believing in those stories. Now, you can believe whatever you want to believe. That's your choice. But my God, man, it is scary that there's hundreds and thousands, probably millions of people out there that believe in this kind of crap. How do I know that there's maybe millions of people believing in this kind of crap? Because I do research on the internet. I look at the social media. I look at the YouTube channels, YouTube videos, hundreds and thousands of likes and hundreds and thousands of comments believing that this kind of crap exists. And that's what worries me, that people truly have lost their minds, dude. Common sense. Listen, all I'm asking from people is logic and common sense. And again, if you want to believe it, believe it. But you should also have a common sense and logic to say, hey man, I don't know about this. Even though you would love to believe it, like I said, nobody wants to believe this more than me, that these creatures exist. I'll probably be the biggest believer. But I also have a common sense. I also have a logic. And my logic is telling me this is BS. This is some horseshit, bullshit. Somebody's making money off of this, clearly. There's con artists out there on the YouTube profiting money out of this shit. So that's why it's hard for me to accept these stories, from unverified sources. And I'll end the video by saying this. It is impossible for me, logically, to accept any of these stories, and they are unverified, and they have no solid evidence. Just some photoshopped, blurry image, shadowy figure that looks like a werewolf. Whatever. So, that's honestly my take on it. But please, don't get offended by this. I'm not trying to, shit on your beliefs. I respect, that's what you believe, that's what you believe. I'm simply saying is, if you could put aside your beliefs and use logic for once, try that. And that's what happened to me. I'm the biggest believer. But I have this thing called thinking and logic. And my logic is telling me, well, I don't know, man. I don't see any solid, hardcore proof of evidence for me to truly 100% believe this crap. And that's what you should do. Like any normal human being, you should use logic. Even though you want to believe it. Even Joe Rogan said he would love to believe that the aliens and werewolves and vampires and all this shit out there, skinwalkers, lizards, creature men, underground living in the caves. He would love to believe all that fucking, sorry for the language, all that crap. But there's this thing that we're doing called logic, logical thinking. And I'm using logic and logical thinking. And my logic is telling me that this is coffee. I'm drinking coffee. It's not a holy water, okay? It's not a holy water, it's a coffee, okay? So that's my logic. My logic is telling me, hey, Mr. 4K, this is not a cup of Christ holy water. This is a coffee. That's called logic, logical thinking. And sadly, I don't see people do that on the on these comments. When I read those comments from these con artist, bullshit artist YouTubers, like, dude, do any of these individuals have common sense or like logic, logical thinking? And apparently they don't. But I'm pretty sure these are the same individuals who go to TikTok and they watch the TikTok crap. My God, man. How are we going to land on a Mars? How are we going to go to the Jupiter moons or Saturn moons? How are we going to do this if our thinking it's like this without any logic? All right, guys, and I'll end the video by saying this. Until there's a dead body identified by veterinarians that the creature exists, there's a body found, DNA sample, it's a new species, it exists, it's some kind of an apex predator, Until that day, until somebody brings me until they show it on the news and show the body that these creatures exist, and this is where they are usually uh, migrating on these areas. Until that day, if that ever happens in my lifetime, until that day, it's just a bunch of bullshit stories. Until that day, until we finally see that evidence, it's a bunch of bullshit stories. All right, guys. So there you have it. That's a coffee vlog. Take care.